The importance of learning, doing, and teaching. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. I'm a business investor and I like looking at things in a little bit of a different way. And one of the things I heard, back in high school, is the importance of learning, doing, and teaching. I've had this talk on here before and had this talk with other people, and I always like bringing it up because it's one of the things I don't think people really discuss it enough. And it's not like it's a new idea. I mean, this was built into, especially American culture, very early on, and Western culture in general, way back before that, in terms of having mentors and apprentices and having that schooling being not just something that you do that's required by the government for a small period of time when you're younger, but having it being a lifetime thing, that either you are learning, you're doing, or you're teaching something. And I've been running into a lot of people who are who feel like they're missing out on life. And most of the time they think it's something they're not getting, it's something financial, it's something this or that. I've found that there's usually an imbalance either in their learning, doing, or teaching. Okay, so if a person's really a big learner and they sit and they soak up material, and oftentimes these people find themselves in school nonstop. They get good at it, they go to college, oftentimes they may become a teacher or something academic, and they go back and they keep getting degree after degree after degree because they're good at learning and they enjoy the learning, but they don't necessarily know how to translate that into the doing. And that's not a put down. I think all of us have something we're missing in one of these areas. But you'll find that if you're feeling not unfulfilled in any way, most of the time you can see one of these areas that you're lacking in. Learning is a common one, and it usually gets, it comes down to being one of these things where if you're really good at learning, you can get stuck on that, or you can not be learning enough and you feel stalled and you feel like your life is lackluster, like there's nothing new in life, like everything's always the same. This usually comes from a lack of interest in something, so that it's not learning in terms of being forced to learn something or something dry. Not that type of learning, but the learning that is exciting and interesting, where you can't get enough of it. That learning thing, you can get stuck in it, or you may not be doing enough of it. That's a common area. The doing end of things, usually if a person isn't doing enough, it's because they're stuck in the learning phase, or they're stuck in the teaching phase, and they haven't gone back to do enough of the doing. The doing phase, but there's a lot of doers out there. Most of us are doing something. It's just we oftentimes don't give ourselves enough credit when we're doing it, that we don't realize there's more we can be learning about it, or about some other area, or we should be teaching it to someone. When you teach something, it changes the entire feel of the doing. And you learn a whole nother level of the doing. You learn so much by the teaching level. The teaching thing, I think most of us do not do enough of. So, yeah, there are some people that's all they do is teach. They don't do enough learn, and they don't do enough do. They get stuck in I'm going to keep teaching the same thing over and over and over again because it's a comfort zone. Each of these things it's a comfort zone area, right? It's something you get stuck in. It's a habit. But if you feel unfulfilled, you'll want to look at, okay, could I be learning more about something? Could I be doing more of something, or could I be teaching something? And the toughest thing is, if you've never taught before, is understanding, okay, how would I even get into teaching something? How would I How would I teach what I know how to do? Who would even want to know what I know how to do? Maybe you don't have anything anyone wants to know how to do, but it's unlikely. In most cases, I found most people have something that someone else wants to know about. Now, whether you want to spend time teaching that, whether you want to learn the skill of patience that comes along with teaching, or whether you just want to be able to teach in a way like putting on trainings that you're not necessarily getting the back and forth with people. I think the back and forth with people is really important to growth and feeling like you're actually doing something worthwhile, that there's a real value to the back and forth, but it has frustration tied to it, and you have to learn patience to get through that. It's a cycle. It's a constant thing. And it's one of the things you always have to be watching for is what am I doing too much of, and what could I be doing more of? And I would bet that a lot of the secret to finding fulfillment in life, career, and everything else comes from one of those areas for you. I said back in high school I learned a lot of this. It first hit me when I was in Future Farmers of America, FFA. They have a motto, and their motto is learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, and living to serve. Now, they don't say anything about teaching there, but I found that the serving oftentimes comes back to some type of teaching component. If you're serving people, you are teaching in some way. And that learning to do, doing to learn, that's big. You have to be doing to learn. You can't just read everything out of a book or learn everything from a lecture. You got to get out there and mix it up a little, and you'll learn a whole nother level on it. But I kind of already hit on these things. It's a cycle, and I've talked about this before on here. You can find the other videos and podcasts that we've discussed this. But keep an eye on that. I've really seen it a lot lately with people. And if you don't know of a way, start talking with people and start saying, I would love to learn how to do this. Or I'd love to learn how to teach. Yeah, how would I teach this? Do you know anyone that would be interested in learning how to do this? And start digging around. Start asking around. The answer might come to you. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Go check out my next level of trainings that I've been putting out starting last year. I have a training all on content marketing and whether it's even right for you or not. So this is the very, very beginning. If you're wanting to see if content marketing is right for you, go check out contentmarketingquestion.com, and you're going to get that one question answered by going through this training. Contentmarketingquestion.com. That's all I got for tonight. You have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.